Hello, how y'all doing? I want to talk about why poor people should not borrow money. Now, I know that this goes against everything that you thought you knew about money because there's so many advertisements everywhere. Go to Quicken Loans, get $300. Go to XYZ Financial, get your loan, get your $1,500 within a half an hour or 24 hours. This goes against everything you've ever heard about money, about borrowing money. And a lot of people say you need to borrow money to establish your credit. That is some truth to that. That you need to borrow money so there can be a record that you paid that bill off. Okay, there is some truth to that. So if your bank lets you have a Visa with a $300 limit, you can go ahead and borrow that money but pay it back within a month. And there will be a record of you paying it back. But really, you can live to tell about it if you never borrowed anything in your whole life. You can live to tell about it. Okay? Now, if your budget says that you're poor, your neighbor says that you're poor, and most of all, if the government says you're poor, guess what? You're poor. Okay? I remember this girl, she worked every day. She told me, she said, I am so poor. Because she was paying out so much of her money. She said, I am so poor. Okay? Now, if you're poor, this means you're at zero. You don't have any extra money. So you don't need to borrow any money from JCPenney's or Zappos. Hello. You don't need to do that because then you're going to be in the negative range. You're going to be in the negative numbers. Okay, if you go borrow some money. If you cannot afford clothes, then you just cannot afford it, okay? Now, I remember seeing this woman go into one of these loan companies that want you to borrow against your title. Let's say she went to borrow $300. Well, she was fat. So what does that mean? She's eating $300 worth of food. So that's her $300 right there. If she had just not eaten, if she would stop eating $300 worth of food every month, she would have that extra $300 in the bank so she won't have to borrow anything. She was fat. She was eating up the money. I remember this other girl, she was trying to buy a house, and she said she had a $3,000 hospital bill that she knew nothing about. But that could not be true because if you have a $3,000 hospital bill, you know you have it. She just thought by moving to another state that she would just forget about it. Well, the hospital hasn't forgotten about it. They reported to collections and went to court. So her credit was ruined anyway, but she got her house anyway. Now that's really stupid to ignore a bill and hope it to go away. It is not going to go away because that company, whether you owe a hospital or whether you owe a jewelry company, whatever, they're going to report you to collections and then they're going to go to court to collect that money. So you cannot run from a bill. Now the Bible says the borrower is servant to the lender. So if you don't want to be in servitude to anybody, stop borrowing money. Do not borrow money. Okay, and you're going to be glad you did. You're going to live to tell about it if you don't borrow any money because that's going to get you in the negative numbers. If you have $25 in the bank, you're still in the positive numbers. At least you're not in the negative numbers. So if you don't want to be in servitude to anybody, don't borrow. If you're poor, please don't borrow money. Have a nice day.